Hi guys. So we are meeting nearly after a month, and several things have happened, and I will be discussing everything in detail about BCUBE and B3X both together. So first, let's come to the big subject for which like we are seeing a very high turnout today. Like everyone is here. I think like everyone received the email in the morning. Uh, did everybody receive, or like there is someone like who didn't receive? Everybody received it? Okay. So if you have not received it, like then we will see. Oh, okay. Yes. Like maybe because French citizens are not getting it, or what, Henrik? It's a strange because okay, Hector has received. Okay, we will see. Anyway, like if you have not received it anyway, I will be speaking it now, but we have to communicate with at least users of the product. And that's why we will be sending out the communication in case if it has not been done. So the first thing is like the MiCA regulation. So MiCA regulation completely was not understood until March 30, 2025, because they were asking us like what type of business we are doing currently and what type of business that we will do in the future. So finally, they classified our business as investment advisory and passing the orders through APIs. I think like those two things were fair because that's what we do. But we were arguing them that we are not holding any custody of the funds. So order transmission also means like where client is actually calling us and asking to place the order, something like a broker. But we are not a broker. Brokers are only crypto exchanges, like in technical terms speaking. So we had like a lot of discussion with them to get more clarity. But finally, like we started to discuss with our lawyer, and he came out with a lot of answers, like almost like 15 days ago. So the thing was like now MiCA regulation is coming from 1st of July 2025. So MiCA is in place in many countries already from 1st of January 2024 itself. So from those times itself, MiCA has come. But every country had a deadline to actually implement it because they were giving some time because many countries didn't have any clarity on MiCA or crypto or anything. So they said like we need more clarification. That's why we cannot immediately make MiCA possible in our country. We cannot apply the law. So that's why we want some time. So that time is called as grace period. So that grace period for some countries it was 6 months, some countries it was 1 year, some countries it was 1.5 years. And we came to Italy because they could understand our business in the first place. And secondly, like whatever they were asking for, we could supply it. We had all those things. And third thing, they were having one of the highest grace period time in the entire European Union. So it was not just Italy. Italy was there, Hungary was there, Czech Republic, Poland. All these countries had a deadline of 1st of July 2025 to apply of this MiCA law pan-Europe everywhere. So there is no country which will operate without MiCA from 1st of July 2025. 30th of June 2025, if you don't have a MiCA license, then you will have to wind off. But irony is like even Binance doesn't have it. So I don't think they will even have MiCA for a simple reason that two of the cases are very serious against them in the French court. One is money laundering case, and another one is like some fraud case. Two cases are there. So when these cases are in the court, no way they are going to get MiCA regulations. But we will see again. Like they will operate and they will still operate, and they will not get into trouble because when we were in France, they said the same thing. Like we were operating even before getting the license, so that was illegal. But Binance was also operating spot exchange, future exchange, but they didn't go after them. So it will be very interesting to see what is happening. The only two exchanges which has got MiCA regulated currently in European Union is Bybit. They established themselves in Vienna. Just 3 days ago, they got MiCA regulated. And another one is Gate.io. No, not the Gate.io. It was Crypto.com. So Crypto.com and Bybit are the one like which got it, and OKX also got it. So these are the three exchanges like which is openly speaking about it, but it seems BitGet is also getting it from Malta. We are not sure about that one. So we have to see like how it pans out and what will happen to these exchanges. But we also digged lot of things about what is MiCA regulation, whether we can get this one or not. Initially, it looked like, okay, we need to have this much of capital requirements and everything. But initially, when me and Erwan, we started the company in France, we put $500,000 each from our pocket. So the share capital is like 1 million euros. So this was the requirement of having at least 250,000 euros of share capital. But as founders, we have put in 1 million euro from our pockets. So we said, like, look, we have 1 million of share capital. So we already have capital requirements. They changed the law a little bit. They said, like, yes, you need to have the share capital plus you need to lock certain amount of money in a bank account as a kind of like protection fund. If something goes wrong with your market making system, something goes on with your custodian services or something, like, you need to have that much of money. Absolutely, there is no logic, because if I'm taking a custodian services of few million dollars, and if there is only 125K there, I don't think that's going to help in any way. First of all, it's totally illogical. But they asked us to lock the money. And we got this information something like in the last week of April. So we were asking, like, okay, but this money, like, where we have to keep it? It should be a liquid cash, or it should be an asset, or it should be like a fixed deposit, like somewhere in the government bonds or something, or it should be in the bank account. And they said, like, no, it's a liquid euros, like, which should be in the bank account. And at any given point in time, you need to have that money liquid. So you can't invest that money into Bitcoin or something else and say that, like, okay, we have an asset. Asset doesn't work. You need to have the hard cash in your bank account. Now this was getting a problem. So we thought, like, okay, at least this much of money, somehow we will arrange it and we keep that. And finally, they said, so far, with all the WASP across Europe, they were not saying this one so strongly before. They were saying, like, okay, you need to have an address of the office. It should be a real office, and you should have address, and you should have the capability to get the letters from there and to respond to the letters. And we had these kind of things ready. But now with the MiCA law, they're saying you need to have a physical office where a managing director of that country has to be appointed. So we are in Italy now. So in Italy, we have to appoint a managing director who will sit in the office every single day, and he will work from the office. And managing directors, we cannot just bring in some business guy and make him a managing director. It doesn't work that way. And also, like, I don't think regulator will simply believe, like, if we get a young person, like, just for the sake of having a managing director saying, like, look, he manages the company, because they will ask for experience. They will ask for, like, several other things, like who this person is, but what was his experience, and whether he has, like, crypto knowledge or not, or financial knowledge or not. So real managing director has to be bought in. So this kind of managing director means, like, someone from the bank, someone from the investment banking, or someone from the hedge fund, or something like that. He needs to have that kind of knowledge. So this is very difficult. Second thing, we need to have a CISO, which means Chief Information Security Officer. Because if there is a genuine hack tomorrow of the platform, and if people lose the money because of the hack, then CISO need to have some kind of logs and everything to prove that, like, it was really a genuine hack and it was not done by an insider or anything else. So having a CISO is again, like, very, very, very expensive affair, because C category people, especially in cybersecurity, they are very expensive to have. And third one is, like, we need to have an AML officer and anti-money laundering officer plus a KYC officer also. So we need to have, like, two officers concerning the compliance who are sitting in the office, one managing director and one CISO. So after this one, there are, like, very expensive softwares to buy and to monitor every single transactions, because it's not just like off-chain transactions that we have on centralized exchanges or anything, but also decentralized exchanges by checking in their wallets, like every single thing. So all these are, like, huge, huge, huge investment that we need to make it. So that for a company like our size is not possible. So MiCA regulations for me is made or is possible only for large companies, or which is having, like, at least 10 million, 50 million kind of, like, big, turnover companies. Like, otherwise, like, it's not possible at all to maintain all these things. And after that also, like, there are several other things, like, about the capital things, and we have to get in the money, we have to do this, we have to do that. So it's not possible. And if we continue to do that, It will be the same thing what happened in France. So it will repeat, and like they go after us, and all these things are going to start once again. And that's why they said like 31st of May, you need to send a communication out to everybody that you will be stopping operations. But we are stopping in Italy, but it doesn't mean it is going to stop. Uh, in Italy, in European Union, we are going out. Anyway, we will discuss that later. So as of now, it's temporarily stopped. I'm saying this word in a inverted commas that it's temporarily stopped. It's not stopping forever. It's temporarily stopped. We need to find a jurisdiction where it is possible, and we are going there. Like we are migrating there. Look, this is nothing new. We came from France to Italy thinking like, okay, like here is the better conditions. It was better conditions, but now the law which is there, it's not dependent on a country, but this is a law which is coming to the entire European Union. So this is a very different situation. And to be honest, like whenever I discuss with someone about BCUBE or anything else, they're telling me like, why you are having this kind of business in heavily regulated areas like this. In Europe, United States, they're not going to like make these kind of companies. They are always making companies in BVI, Cayman Islands, Panama, these kind of jurisdictions, because their regulations are low. uh, Things are like much more easily possible, and we can make like the same things or even a little bit of more things more easily than even doing like very tiny things in this kind of jurisdiction. So it's not possible for us to like go through all these things right now at this point in time. And that's why like we are leaving Europe, and we are stopping temporarily the platform for a couple of months, and then we will come back. But during that, what happens and how the things looks like from 1st of July, we will discuss that later. Concerning like BCube token itself, like a lot of people will be having some questions around it, and I know like prices were dropping a lot today, and some people are panicked around it. Like, look, there is a utility even now, and that we will be doing it from ourselves, which I can discuss later on with everybody privately. And more broadly speaking, what everyone needs to understand is like, as I'm telling, this is a temporary setup. This is not a permanent thing. So nothing is going to happen. This is what I'm saying. Like, it's not the end of the road. It's just the end of a country. It's end of a region. It's not end of the business itself. And by doing this end of the business, like no one is going to get anything from it. And that's not the way how it is going to work, because this is a gold mine. I know it. Bull markets are coming very soon, and this is the time like when you can make a lot of things possible, right? So there is no point in like doing these things now. And moreover, like we don't have any intention to shut down any operations. We are not doing it even now, because we have like several ideas. Because always when things were coming up, like like we are not new to this, right? We have seen this one with the previous cases, like when we were in France. Like at that point in time itself, like we were thinking like, okay, what we will do, like if this happens, what we will do with that happens. Actually, we even made a very big partnership with one of the very big platforms, which is backed by all the tier 1 VCs and very, very cash rich company. They wanted us to manage their accounts. Those accounts like will have lot of money from even institutions, like putting money into their vaults, and we will manage the vaults for them. We were supposed to announce it tomorrow, like 1st of June. We already prepared and everything, but now we will not be making that announcement. We will make that announcement probably 15 days later or something, like after discussing with our lawyers. But inside, it is happening. Okay. So this is a revenue generating stuff. That's all I can tell you at a high level. So we have made all the arrangements. Like nothing is going to happen. We are here, still here. And I would love to speak to you like every month about the things, how it's going on. Look, I am here. Everyone is here. All the people are here. All the founders are still the same. All the team is still the same. I already announced like in the beginning of April, like, look, I have stopped all my salaries and everything, right? And you people also will not have anything from now. All the money that we have, we will spend it for infrastructure. We'll spend it for like various other things, like small, small things. we will not have salaries for next few months, definitely. So you have to do that one. The core team like completely accepted. We are not doing anything. So we are working for our project, for making our dreams come true, for taking care of everything what we believed in and what we are building on. And two, three employees also said like, look, we work for this company for some time. We really like the atmosphere. We really like everything. So it's okay for a couple of months. Like it's okay. Like once the fundraising happens, like for B3X, like then you can pay it after that one. But like as of now, it's okay. But even if that doesn't happen, it's okay. Like we will not ask this one, but we will do it. So we have made all the setup in the team itself, and all the money what we have, like right now we are spending only on the infrastructure like AWS cost, some other kind of like basic things like to run the systems, because running a trading system is like involves lots and lots of things. We will need like IP services, like for example when we are sending bulk orders to Binance or any other exchanges, technically you cannot do it. Technically for 500 600 customers, like we cannot send the orders. They will classify us as a spam because they don't know what type of platform we are. Although we make all those setups like from the back end, like by informing to Binance like, look, this is our AWS account, from here our orders comes. But randomly sometimes like they can stop us. So we use some kind of like IP services wherein we use web shares and a couple of other things, like which will spread your orders across different regions and different IPs so that the exchange will never come to know that it's coming from the same platform. So all these things will incur cost. So that's the only thing what we are spending on, and we are working just like before. So definitely like there is like a lot of revenue making opportunity that we have already made it. And we will also like consider from next month, as soon as we start off with this partnership thing what I'm talking about, because this partnership thing we are doing it in our own legal names. So even we are not violating any law here, we are doing it in our name only. But we represented the company, so they are giving us this opportunity. And whatever profits that we make from that one, some amount of profits of that amount, we will buy back the tokens and we will burn it right away, so that like there is some kind of buying activity also happening at the same time. So this is some of the structures that we have thought. But otherwise, like we have like couple of other options also. If everybody is feeling like, okay, the news might not go to everybody, some might misunderstand, some might not understand, because even though you speak everything, still a lot of times like people might not understand it. So if you feel like that, we can sunset it, which means like we will delist temporarily, and later on we can come back by adding the same money as a liquidity later on. So this is also one of the options. Or there might be other things like what happened between Ribbon Finance. I'm not sure like how many people know about Ribbon Finance here. So Ribbon Finance was a DeFi protocol back in 2021. They raised $30 million. They made this platform and they had $300 million of TVL. But after that, like it didn't work. They were not able to make revenues from it. So they closed the company. I mean, like they said, like no, we cannot go ahead with this one. So then finally they said like, okay, we are actually like looking for another project. We are raising money for that one, and that project is AVO. AVO is listed on Binance. It's a perpetual trading DEX. So what we want to do with B3X, it's similar to that. It's just like DYDX or anything else. So once they made it, they went for DAO and they asked like, okay, can we swap Ribbon Finance tokens with AVO tokens? And overwhelming majority of the DAO members said like, yes, you can do it. So it was swapped in the same ratio in terms of price. What price was it and what price was the AVO token? So in the same way, like everybody got it back. So this is also one of the things that we can do. So there are like several options that we have been thinking since a long time, because like always we need to have a plan B, plan C, plan D. I don't care about like what others speak or anything as such, but my conscience is clean and my vision is clean, and this is what we want to do. I think like this is going to be win-win situation for everybody. And once again, like I'm repeating it, like this is not going to end. This is just a new beginning in a new location, so that this time once we go completely out of Europe and everything, then directly we cannot operate in EU also, because there is a law which is called as reverse solicitation. So reverse solicitation means For example, I am not doing any marketing. I'm not sending any email to you, no Google ads, nothing. Or I'm not even coming to, your countries for making any advertisement or PR or anything. But if you come yourself on the platform, then that is called as reverse solicitation. So that law was applicable until, 30th of June 2025. But from 1st of July 2025, when MiCA comes into picture, reverse solicitation is not possible, because a clearly MiCA law is saying, like, if we have to get EU citizens or EU customers on the platform, then we need to have a physical office somewhere in European Union. It doesn't matter where we have, but somewhere we should have an office. And not just having an office, but we should be MiCA regulated as well if we want to touch any European citizens. Otherwise, we cannot do it. But our lawyer was explaining in an email, like, there is another way, like, but it's very hard to prove that how this relationship was established, but it is still possible to get it. So that's why, like, we have like a couple of ideas which we have discussed with our lawyers. Definitely, like, we can go ahead with that one, and we can do that. Also, like, you see, like, B3X is having like very good interest now. Like, we are like in a kind of like very advanced level DD with couple of VCs, angels, everybody. So by end of June, I think, like, we will be making our pre-seed round raise. So once we have it, like, then we will be in a good position. But even I will tell you in the worst case scenario what is going to happen. In the worst case scenario, like, even if we don't get any funds or something, we have very good partners now. We have announced many partnerships, right? Like, you have seen it already. So these people are going to seed liquidity on the perpetual DEX. So once they are seeding the liquidity, we will even go directly on mainnet. So once we go on mainnet, like, people are going to trade. And luckily, our go-to-market strategy was very, very good for B3X, because we learned a lot from BCUBE. And we learned a lot, like, not what not to do and how to do the things and how to get the things done. Instead of going to users ourselves with B3X by making a lot of marketing, like the ads and everything, we did something different there. We went to protocols directly. And we said to protocols, like, look, you have three use cases of your tokens. One thing, you can stake and earn more of your tokens, which increases the inflation, and finally your token prices are going down. And second use case is something like which no one else is using in your token, because that is not even necessary. And the third use case is like, okay, just speculating on the prices to go up. So this is not going to work. So if you add your token as a collateral on our platform, then people will not just take it, but people will put that token on the platform to long and short any other asset that is present on our platform. Because our philosophy is simple: trade everything with anything as a collateral. So this one clicked very well with like protocols, and I was really surprised. Even one of the $1 billion protocols actually was on our call. I cannot say their name. And they said, like, we were really looking for a use case for our token, and this sounds very good for us. How much liquidity we need to add? So minimum liquidity, what we are asking our partners to add is like 500K. 500K worth of their tokens, 500K worth of stable coins. So this is the liquidity pool they're going to make it. And in our case, like, in all the dexes that you have seen so far, they have like different pools for different tokens. But what we have is like one single pool for like at least 10 or 12 tokens. So the money comes from the pool and goes back to the pool. So it's a very advanced level architecture what we have, which is beneficial for everybody. So in this way, like, if we go on mainnet, today I just saw the latest metrics of our traction. We have almost like 88,000 people, like, who have tried and tested the product, and more than 2,300 daily active users who are daily trading with us. And we are just like 50 days after the launch, and we have like $4 billion worth of tokens which is being traded on the platform. And for testnet, this is a very good traction, because on Rise chain we are seeing other products like which is on the things, they don't have the same type of traction they have, because go to market strategy is very important. And our go to market strategy has been B2B this time and not B2C, because to get to B2C it takes a lot of money and you need to spend a lot, and out of that, like, maybe people will come, maybe people will not come. So this has been, we have seen that happening with BCube. Like we did like so many other things also, but um, customer acquisition, customer retention, this is going to cost a lot of money. So what we are doing is like going directly to protocols, asking them to add liquidity on the protocol, and they add liquidity. And once they add liquidity on the protocol, then their token becomes a collateral. So in this way, like it's good for the protocol because their token has a new use case now, wherein people can use those tokens like without selling it anywhere. They can keep it as a collateral and they can trade on anything else. If they make profit, they can even select the profit on our platform in which like token they want, whether they want in the native token or whether they want in another asset like stable coins. So it's a very great thing. That's why like we are in very advanced level discussion with a couple of VCs as well as angels. So we will be closing the round. And even if we don't have the round, as I said, like we will go mainnet very, very soon and start to generate the revenues directly from that itself. So yeah, like this is something like I wanted to say. Like so, I will keep more time for answering your question. So let me just go from the top. Mm, okay, many people have not received the email. We will definitely look into it and we will see to that like you will get your emails. Um, yeah, Bybit was on AMF blacklist, but somehow they made it in Vienna. Probably, I don't know. I all these billion-dollar companies, like it's very confusing to see like how it works because it seems like they have a different set of laws. Um, Okay, Javier has few questions. There has been discussions in the Telegram group about the number of trades an agent can have open at once. Could you clarify the current limits on open positions per each agent? We have actually removed this limit. So now there is no such limits. So we can have like more because we ran a poll, and in that one like majority of the people said like they don't want to have any limits or caps. They want to have like as many trades as possible. In my opinion, it makes complete sense because now we have fixed amount per trade. So even if there is $1,000 and if you assign $100 each for every trade, you can have up to 10 trades. So I can confirm to you that there is no limits as of now. We have lifted the limits. Given the current market dynamics and passage of time, tokens like Sonic, formerly FTM, heavily diluted ETC, which even lost its USD pairs on Binance, or BCH seems unlikely to return to the levels where trade were open. Do you see a scenario where these Dino coins could regain momentum? Does the BCube team consider such factors when managing positions? Is there any max time horizon? That's a very good question. So, FTM, yes, there was a complete change in the tokenomics, and it was changed to Sonic, like from Phantom. So we didn't have this information and these kind of things to factor into trading. It's very, very, very difficult because suddenly if the tokenomics is changing or something else is changing, like which is beyond our control. But I can tell you only one thing: like Sonic is super solid because their blockchain, like they have made some very recent innovations, and it's going to explode a lot. And we are also exploring this opportunity to go on mainnet even on Sonic chain also. So Sonic is going to be very good, and even going forward, like it's going to have like a lot more use cases. So I'm not really scared about Sonic. And ETC also, I'm not so scared because when ETH, like Ether, is pumping, like ETC always goes along with that one. So that is also going to happen. And BCH is also the same thing. Like it's tied up with Bitcoin, but in this particular rally, it didn't pump so much. But one thing, if you see historically the BCH chart, like Bitcoin Cash, uh, it goes up very randomly sometimes, like 20-30%, like in a single day. It can just move up like randomly like that one. The person like who was behind Bitcoin Cash was Roger Ver. So right now, like Roger Ver like is in trouble and he is not able to be behind that one. So that might be one of the possibilities. But still, these three Dino tokens, as you said, which is very old tokens and previous season or previous cycles tokens, definitely has some life. And I would say like hold on to this cycle because based on the news that I have got, like markets will hit multi year high, like by October 2025. So the cycle is just starting now, and these tokens will definitely come up because Sonic, it's an infrastructure play. Definitely, it's going to do good. ETC is always having like the same correlation with Ether. So that is also going to do in that way. But BCH, it's a random coin. There is no real notion behind like why it has to go up or down, similar to like many other coins that we know. But BCH, like somewhat, I know this coin very well, and I can tell you like it's a random coin. Like it can just pump. Yeah, there is some questions on B3X. It seems the recent market drop caused a notable loss in B3X Global Asset Systematic Fund compared to its past performance. I would like to understand what risk parameters are currently in place. Some users, including myself, have also requested visibility into positions rather than individual trades. Look, like it's a quantitative algorithm. That is what is in behind the scene. But sometimes like we have issues from injective chain side also. So there is some problems. Like for example, today in the morning it was suddenly showing $400 less in the total AUM. But we were panicked because there was no positions which was opened. So how this $400 drop even happened? And then we came to know like there is some issues with the injective chain which is not updating the oracles properly sometimes. And we also have this problem like when we are operating the trades on that one. We first tried to automate it completely because we were thinking it's an on-chain thing, so we can try that one, but that didn't work. So it's like quantamental approach, like where we are seeing the signals and we are doing it manually. But this is also like sometimes it's a problem, and also like we have problem with the liquidity, with the slippages, and couple of other things. So the models like what we have for BQ, it's almost like 99% like which is can be predictable in terms of technical things like slippages and other kind of things. But when it comes to like purely like this kind of on-chain activity, like where liquidity or the spreads are too big, so this is something like which is becoming very challenging for us. Anyway, I think like overall, I don't know like if it is really in the losing side or like losing side or in the profitable side, but whatever it is, like if this is becoming a problem, like because we want to keep it as a kind of infra product going forward, like for fund managers and other people to build it. Definitely, like you are asking this question, so you also have quant knowledge and you worked as a quant for some time. So definitely, this is something like where we can onboard those kind of products on this one, and we also have like a couple of other people. So we will be stopping this fund like sooner or later, so that we will onboard more as an infra play than a product from our side itself. Uh, Token launch for B3X, like maybe TG will be in the Q4 2025 or Q1 2026. Because a reason is like, there is two types of fundraising. One thing, like you get the seed round, then you get like a pre-seed, seed round, and then you finish like KOL round, and then you go on a launch pad, get 250K each. I have signed agreements with launch pads for 250K. There is already 4 launch pads. We can get 1 million from there. So, and then immediately you go to TGE. So that is one way of doing it. In this way, you can get like 10x, 20x kind of returns. But what we want to do with B3X is something very different. So all these lessons we have learned from BCube and afterwards like meeting several people, we should not do that one, like go to launch pads and do this and do that one. Instead of that one, like what we want to do is like do pre-seed round, seed round. We have already made like one round of community round. Another round we will do it because like we have like really good user base on the test net and everything. After that one, few months later, 6 months later or something, we will go for like other remaining round. So one more round of fundraising. And after that one, once we have these two or three VCs like holding significant amount of tokens, and then we go to TGE. And that is the way like how we can get like this kind of 100x listing or like 50x listing or something like that. Because if you have seen Movement Labs or Monad or anyone like that one, like layer one, layer twos, they have not gone to this kind of launch pads or anything as such. They raised directly from the VCs. Some community members like they asked them to buy some NFTs initially, and NFTs were swapped later on, which means like they're giving back the NFTs and minting the tokens. So this is how they got it. And some people got the airdrops, like how Hyperliquid and other people did. So this is how like normally it happens. In this way, like investors' profit potential is huge. Otherwise, like if you say like, okay, like we have to go for TGE very soon, like we can go for that also. But in that way, like returns will not be so much because if everybody got the tokens, like in a launch pad by retail customers, then who is going to buy it like when we are actually listed on an exchange? So that is the question. So people should be buying it when we list it actually. And now what happens is like if we go through this kind of launch pads, they will be looking to sell it, not to buy it. So to create buy pressure, we have to go through VCs and only with our community members and then go for the publicly, like listing it on an exchange. As I've said earlier, also with B3X, like we will be going for centralized exchange listing. There will be no decentralized exchange listing whatsoever. Mexi, we have signed it up. Gate is almost on the final stage of DD. So this one also we will sign it up. After Gate, like we are thinking about Bybit, but last time before the hack, when I heard about Bybit, they are asking for $1.5 million for listing, and the listing is 1 million. 500K is for security deposits, and some amount of that money should be in our tokens also. It seems like we are giving for airdrops to their community and their exchange and other kind of things. KuCoin is like somewhere around like 500 to 750K. So one of these exchanges definitely we will lock in, but we will not spend like 1 million, 1.5 billion on Bybit, but 500K, 750K, 500 to 750K for KuCoin sounds good, which is within our budget, like what we have in mind. So that kind of setup and this kind of exchanges will give us like a lot of momentum when we actually list the tokens. Uh, how long will it take to get new jurisdiction? 6 months? No, 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 not 6 months. Like I think like probably like 3 months or something. I don't think like it should take more time. The timing is not really about like finding the jurisdiction. We can find the jurisdiction, but there will be some other things like once we find the jurisdictions. For example, the opening of the bank accounts, and then like once because without bank accounts like we cannot get any payments, so it's impossible to run the business itself. So we have to search for those kind of jurisdictions which will have access to bank account, which will have access to certain other things like where we can function normally and there shouldn't be any problem for us. So that will take time, but not selecting the jurisdiction itself. So the movement always depends on these kind of factors. Anyway, I think like 3 months maximum, I think, not more than that one. um does it mean you will swap BCUBE tokens in B3X tokens 1:1? It's not 1:1. It's about the value. The value of the token at which price it was in, and the same value will be swapped if that is happening. But of course, this is open to discussion and nothing has been decided yet. But if we decide it's about not really giving 1:1, but seeing the value of that one. What partners does B3X have? Helix Lab and what else? We have we have been posting it for almost like last 4 weeks. You can go and check it on the Twitter. That's open, like it's been posted. Helix Lab is one of the things. Let me just give you the list and some of the names that we are discussing also. Um, Okay, Helix Lab is one, Nucleus is one, Code 3x is one, Origin Protocol is one, and also Mountain Protocol, which is a stablecoin, USDM, Chain Sites, Kaito, Router, a couple of other names like what we have published quite recently. So these are the names. And to get these kind of big names, like it was very good because they are not just like adding liquidity, but they are also bringing people who are in their own ecosystem to us. So many of the projects like which doesn't have much of use case in for their tokens in their ecosystem, they will also be coming to add liquidity on the platform and to make their token as a collateral to trade on others. FTX style of collateral, yes, it's a something like that one, where anything can be the collateral. But still, PNL was settled in USD on FTX. But the difference is like here we will settle the PNL in the token what you have taken as a collateral. So that is the difference. So you can accumulate the same collateral token more. So that is the difference, like here, how we do it with collateral. What about the 500K investment into B3X coming from Injective? What will it happen? Look, like that. This is the reason, like why we are not discussing with Injective anymore, because first they committed to 500K, and then they said like, okay, we will put like 100K each every single week. But we discussed, like nothing happened. And they just said like, okay, we will give you marketing support. They did one AMA session, which was good. We got some people. And after that one, like, what was that? Like they put some micro KOLs, like they were doing something, and we got some real people on the Twitter account. That's good. But after that one, like investments, they were saying like, yeah, we will do it, we will do it, we will do it. Like every single week, like I'm going after them, but they're still not saying anything. Now they said to me like, latest by June 15, definitely it will be there. Like they are going to make it. Yeah, when we are speaking to other protocols for B3X partnership, like I mean, B3X injective version is one thing, and B3X what we are building like from the scratch, that is another thing. So the one which we are building from the scratch, for that one, the B2B protocols like whom we are making partnership with, it just works. We signed like letter of intent, we signed a memorandum of understanding, we put down all our points, they put their points, we are signing it. So it's a done deal. If we have five protocols and 500K each liquidity, what they are adding in, $2.5 million worth of liquidity has been come up. But with these people like Injective, it's going on and on. I don't know like if they really have a result. They should have it because they have a very big market cap. But I don't know like really because they're claiming like that chain is highest used in the history and everything. I saw their tweets. But to get money from them, like it's very, very, very difficult. And they are actually most of their money is on their own vault, like which is giving 2%, 2.3%. Still, like our vault is like much better than that one. So yeah, like it's still under discussion, but even I'm a bit frustrated to be honest that we are not seeing the end of the light for this. Okay, Edwin, thanks for the transparency, Guru. BCUBE is still here. MiCA is another massive stone, but as always, we will go through it. Definitely, we will go through it. Like, look, I'm not scared. I'm not even stressed. Nothing has been done. And as I always telling you, like I haven't even claimed my, like my founder token. First of all, I'm not having any salary, but still I am here. Look, it's very easy for me to say, like, guys, like nothing is working. I don't want to do anything. You take care of your tokens, like that's it. I will go back to Morgan Stanley and I will have my job and I will have everything like what I want without any stress, right? I'm not doing that one because I know where this is going and I know where this can go. A lot of challenges have come in the last few years and that has made us like more strong. That has not made us weak. We have thought about like so many other things and how to solve this problem, and this is what like we have been thinking non-stop. But yeah, like problem has been actually chasing us, especially after like 2022-23. Like it's been a nightmare actually during this time. Like it was never peaceful time. Like 1 minute of peace was not there. Even now it is not there because every time we are thinking about something, either there is a thing with the compliance. Like I am thinking like, okay, compliance is ending, like there is fundraising, and once fundraising is getting done, like there is partnerships, there is other things like bring these people, go there, do this, do that. Like a lot of things are going on. We are here to stay. We are not going anywhere. We're just going to another jurisdiction. That's it. And that's what I want to tell you. Yeah, like emails, like definitely you are going to get it. Like we will definitely see why it has not come to everybody. If BCube will no longer be based in EU, how can anyone stop BCube allowing EU citizens to use their products? Is there a regulatory EU body that can affect BCube if it is in based in Panama, for example? Look, like if we are in Panama, for example, um, technically speaking, they cannot come after us. But what they can do is like two things. One thing I'm confirmed, another thing I have asked a lawyer, and they are also looking for that one. The first thing is like they will blacklist the website on all the regulators' websites. They will say like this platform is operating illegally in our territory, which it should not because it's not MiCA regulated and it doesn't have any office here in European Union. So it is still operating and providing services in digital assets, which is illegal. So they can put us on the blacklist. But blacklist has one consequence. When we want to have a bank account somewhere, uh, at that moment they will do something called as like due diligence. And how I know this one, I will tell you, because when we came to Italy, we were looking for bank accounts, and Bank of Italy and many other banks like which is in Italy, they said we are for crypto businesses they are not going to open bank accounts. So we were thinking like, okay, then where we can open the bank account? We went to Revolut, and Revolut said like, okay, we have a crypto bank account which is special and which will be expensive, but we can do it. And during their due diligence process, they said like your name is in blacklist on the French regulators directory. Can you speak to them and get back? And then we asked them like, look, you asked us to stop, we stopped it. You came after us. Then you kicked us out of the country. Everything was done. Like now, why you are having our name on the blacklist? Because we are not focusing on French markets. We are not targeting any French users. We are just using the reverse solicitation clause for the existing customers. They have come themselves, but I'm not doing any marketing. And now they said, okay, then you write the same thing in a letter and give it to us. We will remove you. We made a letter to them. And then they removed us from that blacklist. And then we could have the bank account with Revolut for Italian company. So this was the process. So if they put us in the blacklist, if Panama, I don't know honestly how is Panama or like El Salvador or all these jurisdictions and how strict they are with the compliances and everything. But if they play by books, then if we are in blacklist, like whether it's in Europe or like America or Australia or China, or doesn't matter, they have all the united, like these banking channels and contacts because they all work through Swift and they all work through like the same kind of transaction agencies. So they will get to know it. And then they might say that, like, okay, you have a blacklist record somewhere, which means like you have done either something wrong or you are doing something which is not legal. So we want clarification on that. So in this way, we can get caught. And even if we have a bank account, the bank account will be frozen or revoked later on if we are still operating in that way. So this is also one of the risk that we have. And second risk is like because all the founders are Europeans. We are all based here. I'm in Hungary, so based in European Union. So Erwan and Jean-Baptiste is in France. It's again like Europe. So I don't know if they will come after us personally, like making it as a personal case against us because we are all here in Europe. So we don't know this one. This part we don't know. That's why we have asked lawyers to give us clarification on this point. And if they say that, like, okay, the liability will be on the company and not on the directors of the company, then that's a different story. Because in corporate law, there is two different things. There is one thing like which is a liability and the problem of the company. And there is another thing which is a liability and complication of the company, but actions created by the directors. So then directors are liable to it. So in this way, having a company somewhere else, you can have it. But if you're doing the things like here, even if we were not in Europe, we could have said like, look, we don't live there, so we don't know the things. So you can say that, even though it's stupid, like to claim that kind of things, because you should know when you are doing that one, but still you will have a point. But when you are here in Europe, and if you're saying like you don't know, and previously you were running a similar company, then it doesn't sound realistic. So that's why I think like these are the two things that I see. Like one thing is like access to bank account will be extremely hard and they might put us in the blacklist with completely the MiCA regulatory in the books. So this is one big problem that I see. And another thing is like there might be something like a personal liability, like they might come after us if we are doing the things. How much percentage is missing for completely raising funds for B3X? So the pre-seed is like for 1 million. I think like we have commitment for almost 300K as of now. So 70% is there. But 700K might sound very big, but two of the VCs that we are doing, they do a minimum checks of between 300 to 500K. So even if two VCs are coming, like the round is finished. What will happen to the current open positions on BCUBE agents on the 1st of July? Well, there is two ways that we can solve this one. If you guys want us to clear all the position, we can do that on 30th of June or 2025. I think like until 30th of June, we cannot keep the system up and running because we will have an audit from the regulator to see like if we have shut down all the system or like something is still alive or something. So probably 1 week before or like 10 days before itself, we have to stop the platform. So probably something like 20 June or something, like we have to solve everything and we have to show everything to the regulator with proper documentation and with all kinds of proof that we have really stopped operations and we are not going to MiCA after that one. So until that moment, like either we can liquidate the positions ourselves or all those positions which are open, like just have it. Personally, we will have this discussion like on when to sell it because we will be managing it and I will make sure like you will all get the information on the BCube channel itself, like where we will tell you like what you can do with that one. So no need to sell it in a hurry, like for loss. There is no point in selling in the loss because bull market is still yet to come, and that will come this year for sure. 100% it's going to come. So don't sell anything for loss. Um, it will definitely not open any new positions I think like from tomorrow it should not open any new positions, but of course it depends. Like if you want to keep the training going on for next 20 days or something, like we can definitely make it happen, or we can make the trade happen very strictly based on like very small scalps or something like that. But definitely there will be no carryover trades, that one I can tell you. Thanks for the responses, Guru. I see huge potential on everything that is going on. I'm 100% on and willing to wait for the perfect moment. Definitely, Javier. We will definitely make it. Having the ability and skill to pivot quickly between chains seems essential. L1 tend to stay relevant for only a short period of time these days. Definitely, but also like chasing different chains is also very risky, because a lot of people like imagine like Avalanche, like which is also one of the top 10 big chains, like having billions of dollars in TVL. Many people left Avalanche to go to Sui, and after Sui, like some people went to Solana and everything. But still, like all these people, like when I asked their experience, like they're coming back to the previous chain because once they were on Avalanche, they had a lot of support from their team for everything. I mean, like ecosystem support, TVL contribution, and this TVL contribution means every chain will have money, and that money they will put it in your vault, or they will boost your TVL. So if we claim like we have a TVL of 10 million, like all these recently raising startups, like when they say like we have a TVL of 20 million, that 20 million didn't come from people, it didn't come from any public, honestly. That 20 million came from their own VCs, their own ecosystem people, someone else. They have contributed that TVL. That's it. It's like they are giving it to them. This is called as TVL contribution. This is the same discussion we are having with our VCs also. When they're asking like, okay, besides investment, what do you want? We are telling like we want TVL contribution. We want access to all your portfolio companies. We want to speak to them, and we want to get some TVL from them also. So this is the kind of discussions that we have. So we have to select a chain like which fits well into our type of products. And why we selected Rise chain is because Rise chain is having gigagas capabilities. So if you have gigagas capabilities, you can list n number of markets. So our vision is to make global markets on chain, which means like stock markets, commodity markets, forex markets, crypto markets, stock markets, every bond markets, every kind of market should be on chain. And for this one, there is no such exchange apart from Binance, which is having 1,000 listings. But we want to have 8,000 listings, something like Uniswap for trading on perps. So if you're saying like a Uniswap, it's a permissionless protocol. Anybody can add liquidity and they can create their markets. We are the same. It's a permissionless protocol. Like you can just add liquidity yourself and make your own markets. So we want to be the Uniswap for perpetual contracts. So it's like hyper liquid for perpetual contracts. So in this way, we want to have like 8,000 listings. It is impossible on Ethereum. It is impossible on Monad. It is impossible on Megaeth. It is impossible on Sui. It is impossible on Solana. None of these blockchains are having capability for that kind of listing because the block size is too small. And even if we list like 8,000 things, then the latency will be so slow that it will take 5 minutes to execute one single order that you have when we will have 8,000 listings. But if you have 8,000 listings on Rise chain, you will have like a 15 microseconds latency. Even with 8,000 listings, it will just work smooth because they have gigagas capability, which means their block size is like extremely big, and they can have like a lot of trades like in a single block itself. That is the reason like why we selected the Rise chain. And if we are going for any other chain, probably it will not be for technical advantage, because definitely there is no technical advantage for Rise chain as of now because of their gigagas capabilities. But we will be going for one more mature chain, because mature chain people have something what Rise chain is not having at this point in time. And what is that? That is money, and that is TVL. So if we go for like any other like popular ones like that, like Sui, Solana, or anything else, then they have like those kind of $1 billion of TVL, and they can contribute those TVLs like on our protocol wherein that money can be used for so many things. And once we have like 10 20 million kind of TVL, many other funds and many other people, liquidity providers, everybody will come to us like, okay, we will also add liquidity, like we are looking for some APY 3% 4%, like, so something, give it to us, like they will do it. And that's the reason like why we are, like in discussion with the partnership with many other stable coin providers also, because they provide stable coins to us, and then we will run the show from there. So going to too many L1s or L2s will not give us an advantage. In fact, it's a disadvantage, because we need to have a close connection with one ecosystem or two ecosystems, make very close relationship with them, and try to extract as much as possible from them. But if we keep jumping from one to another one, even they will see like, okay, you extracted value at one chain and now you are coming to the second chain. So probably you will not add value to my chain. You will just be here for some time. You will get as much as things possible. And then you will go to another new chain, which is coming up tomorrow. So in that way, like we will not get anything from you. So they will not support so much. So we will be on one or two mature chains, because it's a multi-chain. First of all, B3X will be a multi-chain. It will not be just on one chain. On Rise chain, it will be main because of GigaGas, and there will be two other main kind of like mature chains, like which is there for some time because of TBL partnerships, ecosystem support, and many other things. In the community fundraise, you said you wouldn't stop until BCUBE reach 100K followers and growth of community. Discord is more than dead, and not even 20K was reached on Twitter. What's the plan now? We are trying to add, people like more organically, because we want to have like people like who are real people there, and people are watching it and they're not talking. Otherwise, like we will not have like so many people actively trading on the platform, and they're sending DMs to, like one of my co-founder, like who is there, if there is any problem with the product, or if he is not able to access the collateral, if he is not able to claim the faucet tokens or Ethereum or something, they're getting it. We are getting like many DMs every day, but they are not like those kind of people like who are coming there and talking and things like that one. But people who have there, like 80% of them are real people, and they are communicating with us like in DMs on Discord server, like especially for the tech people, they are concentrating a lot. And we have like one of the admins like there, like we will ask him to put the tag of admin, but he's the technical guy coming from one of the chains like Rise chain. So he is also taking up a lot of questions from them, and they have like their own KOL networks and everything. These people will sooner or later they will come definitely on the platform. But just making, like Galaxy campaign and everything, like we can make 100K followers, but that will not give you anything. So don't focus on like 100K followers, 200K followers, because it's just bullshit. If you want like 1 million followers, we can make it like next week itself, but it will not give anything. If you want to make like Discord more active, we can also do that one by running Galaxy campaigns, ZLE campaigns, and everything. But what we have seen so far, like by after listening to a lot of people, like they're simply telling us like, okay, they're coming, they're just airdrop farmers. After that, like they are not doing anything more. So we don't want to have that one. The 80K followers, like who are actually trading on our platform, they are there like on Rise chain, because on Rise chain, okay, do one thing, join the Discord server of Rise chain, okay, and there you will find one channel which is exclusively for B3X. There you will find thousands of people, because they were testing the chain, they're testing the product there. Because on the test net, it's very important to see like how stable is the chain, and is there any problem with the oracles? Is the oracle breaking sometimes? Or is the sequencer working very fine on the blockchain? So there is a lot of questions that they have, and these kind of people are very tech savvy people. So some people who are traders, they're contacting in the DM. Maybe they are shy like to discuss there. Or one of our admins from Rise Chain, like we have asked like one more admin to join our B3X. So there he will come and he will speak, and maybe he will improve the discussion things. But it the dead or not, that doesn't matter. How many people are actually using the product, that matters. So as of now, like we are having 2,300 like every daily active users. That's why we have given the link publicly, so that you can get all those data from the RPCs that we call directly from the blockchain to see it. So numbers don't matter at all. If you're seeing like the VCs that we are speaking, there are community VCs. For them, if you have 50,000, 60,000 followers, they're like, okay, we will invest in you. But like top VCs like whom we are talking about, they're not even asking about the community. They're just asking like, okay, how much you are raising, what is your go-to-market strategy, and what is your unique selling point, what is the moat. This is what they ask, and who are you people. That's it. So the numbers, itself per se is not important, but the quality is important, and we are able to get that engagement and that kind of traction on the product. And I think that's a good way to go ahead. Later on, like once we go on mainnet and everything, that kind of people will organically come. So that's something like we can see that. Um, what have you decided for BCube future? Are you planning to sell BCube or with combining with B3X? Or you were discussing about it in the last AMA? Look, like selling without MiCA regulation, I don't think like any funds will be really willing to it. Before we had like WASP license and we didn't know like how MiCA is going to play out. So if they get us WASP license, what we had, they would have got like pan Europe accessibility. So they don't have to go through everything and they will have the client base to start off everything with. So when we don't have any kind of regulation status right now, it will not be so much appealing to them because users like they can also do their own campaigns and they can bring it. So it's off the table. And secondly, like merging with B3X, definitely this is something we are already thinking about it already, like to take it to BVI or do something with that one. So put also the same company, and also for other investors, it will be very appealing because okay, we are putting money into one, but we are getting advantage of two things now. So that is definitely there. But if there is an advantage to keep these companies as two different entities, we are open to it as well. Um, these regulators are ridiculous, starting with MiCA and other shits. Like honestly, Gabi, like I feel the same frustration like you, but I will also tell you something like I'm not really against the regulations because sometimes it's good, like to keep away some kind of scammers, but it has hardly kept any scammers away, but only innocent people have been punished in this way, as far as I know and I've seen. But what I don't understand is like really the kind of steps they are taking in to make regulations look strict, but it's just nonsense. Because to be a market maker now, according to MiCA regulations, we need to have like 250 to 500K euros in the bank account at any given point in time. I don't know, like maybe GSR, Wintermute, these kind of people can do it, Key Rock and these kind of people. But many other market makers that I know, like who are doing it, they are saying like, no, we don't have that kind of money, like free money, like in our coffers. We just don't have it. It's impossible. And moreover, like this kind of office and everything, like look like we run like a tech company, and many of the tech companies even today, like they are doing remote works. Many people like work for US companies, like being in Europe. I have a couple of friends, like one of my neighbor actually is also working for a US company and he sits here in Hungary. So I don't know, like what is this like having office, like and like having all the employees and everything. And moreover, like if you have a managing director, really, if you're bringing in a managing director from that country where you are based, then what you are doing then? Why two managing directors are needed in the company? Because managing director is something like a CEO. So you don't need two chief executive officers for one single company. If the company is too big, like BlackRock, Citibank, or something, I understand you need to have a country head like everywhere because they have billions and billions of dollars in revenues. But for crypto, like where hardly there are any billion-dollar companies, besides having those market caps, I'm saying in terms of like revenues, there are hardly any company that is even making like 10 million revenues. So I don't see any reason at all like why they have to make it. And always like they come out with the new things, like every 3 months there is coming out with new things. I still remember like until March 30, 2025, I was regularly in touch with our lawyers and they mentioned none of these points because still at that point in time, many of the regulators like were discussing amongst themselves, like among the member states of European Union, like this is our idea, this is the way we want to do it, and what's your idea and everything. And like unequivocally, like on 1st of April, the decision was made by European Union, like, no, this is how it is going to be. We have taken the decision and all the member states of European Union have to follow this law. You have no other choice. This is the way how it is going to be. So, I mean, like, they just make the law. Um, I don't know, like, what else I have to say, but none of these things are really helpful. I don't see it making any sense personally. If they are saying like, okay, you need to be regulated, okay, tell me who you are. I will make a background check on you, and if you are a eligible guy, then you get the license. that's a good way to do it. But I don't think so. Like regulations have completely stopped or how exactly it's working. But it's always good to be regulated. I mean, like, which means like you are a legit person and you could get it and you have a business on that one. But making it look like this one, this is just like, you know, favoring the big companies. No, no, no small companies that I know. Like, actually, we are not the only person like who have taken this decision. I know like three other companies like in Europe itself. They're all stopping, and they said to me also like they are looking at other jurisdiction. Imagine even there is one company by name Stix, Stix, Stix. They're the biggest OTC providers, OTC service providers in European Union. And Stix was based in London, and they had operations within European Union also. Now, his name is Taran, the founder. He told me like, yeah, no, go out because even I'm going out. Like, I will not stay here. I was telling like, look, you are a very big player in OTC, and he said like, yeah, I'm a big player, but I don't know. Right now, I will agree to this, but tomorrow, what is going to come, I don't know, and I don't want to be disappointed tomorrow. It's better like I take the action today and I will move out. So everybody is going out, most of them. Only some big multi-billion-dollar companies, like there's a Ledger and these kind of companies are still staying. Apart from that, like most of them are leaving the country. Um, If B3X token will launch at the end of this year or beginning of 2006, when should we already bought tokens in the first community round, expect to get the tokens or at least those first 12% of bought tokens? Look, like you will get the tokens on the day of TGE. Like you can claim it, the tokens like based on the tokenomics, and you can just do that one on the day of for tokenomics because that's why it's called as TGE, token generation event, which means like when we actually release the token from the smart contract, the vesting period starts from that particular day. So that's why it happens in 2026, like Q1. Definitely, like by that time, we want to raise like two more rounds, and after that like I will be very honest, I just want to avoid all these launch pads. I've signed agreements with them, but I'm not sure like we are going ahead with them. We just want to make with VCs, like because they as far as I know, like with BCUBE, like we made deals with some community VCs, and I didn't know really at that point in time what community VCs really means. Community VCs are nothing but retail investors. They will take the the so-called VCs, they collect the money from public and they invest in the product in the project, and they take the tokens and they just give it to all the people after that. So it's as good as going on launchpad or like allowing the retail customers to get the tokens. So that's not going to be good for us because we have already seen that happening. That's why it's better like we just make community round for all our community people, and I'm very happy like all the big holders of BCube are the holders of B3X token also, because we have seen like their activity and their style and their way of dealing the things. That's completely fine. And other things like who are coming newly, like we will do that one for them. So in this way, like we will reach that 1 million mark. And other things like will come from VC, like another 2.8 million, like 1 million from pre-seed, 1.8 from seed round. So 2.8 will come from there, 1 million will come from there, 3.8 will be there with us. And probably before the TGE, we will make a before TGE like extended seed round or something like that, like 1 more million. Then we are fine with that one. Actually, right now for the product development itself, we don't need money. We have all the talents in-house. We are even developing our own market making system now. So Jean-Baptiste is already working with our scientific advisor to make the market making system. So once we have market making system, then we will be having our own trading systems and everything. Because when the world market, the custom decks like what we are building now, that goes live, it will be a pool model, pool-based perpetual trading decks. So next phase will be club model, centralized limit order books, like Hyperliquid. So we are getting ready for that now by building our own market making system, and we will be competing with Hyperliquid at that point in time. But there is a huge advantage over Hyperliquid. Hyperliquid, if you see on the GitHub code, they cannot list more than 223 assets. It's hard coded. They can never go beyond that one, even if they want. It's impossible. And on their perps also, like since their chain, like Hyperliquid has like two different chains, which many people don't know. What they have built their perpetual DEX, that is their own chain. And now what people are saying, like I'm building on Hyperliquid chain, that is an EVM based chain. That is a different chain. That is not the same chain on which Hyperliquid app is there. So what app they are having, that L1, they have like three validators, and all the three validators are the founders of Hyperliquid. So you don't know really what is there on that one. What is the scalability of this chain, or what is going to happen? So far, so good. But future, we don't know. And that's why by studying all these things, we are making our own market making system, our own algorithms, our own things when we go on the club model. So all these things are going to, completely developed in house. So we don't need money for expansion of these things. We have talent completely inside. Erwan is an expert in cloud and big data and AI and this kind of things. JB is completely into AI and quantitative tools. Even I can lend my help there also. And I can take care of like GTMs and other things like with my other co-founder. And my other co-founder is also like, like building this completely per decks and everything because he built like two perpetual trading decks in the past. He built Avitus on Movement Chain and he built FXDX on Arbitrum and several other things. So completely we know what we are doing, and this team like has never been like so perfect like that one. Everybody understanding their areas and everybody knowing what they're doing so perfectly, so focused. So money is not needed for the development process. Money is needed for infrastructure cost. Like now, when we deploy these kind of things on AWS or some other things, or auditing of the smart contracts, because auditing of the smart contracts is very, very, very expensive for a perpetual DEX because we will have thousands and thousands and lines of codes like for all these things, and we have to make sure that like every single line of code is audited properly, and it's not just with one auditor. We have to make it like two or three different auditors to test it, like if there is no problem in anything, because if there is only one single bug, then we are done. All the liquidity will be gone next day by a hacker, someone, you know. That's why this is the major cost. Like auditing cost is one thing, infrastructure cost is another thing. Besides that, like we don't need manpower things as of now. We will work like for several months, like we don't need salary, like we can manage ourselves. So all we need the cost right now is for the infrastructure cost and smart contracts auditing things, because these are very, very expensive, really very expensive. Last time when I contacted Certic, they gave a quote of 220K for auditing of this one, because Certic is like listed on Binance and they're quite well known. And there are also like a couple of other big names like Trial of Bits, these kind of people. But Quill is a good friend of mine, the founder. Like he always gives us like good discounts, and their smart contracts, which were audited before, has never been hacked so far. So it's a good one. So we are also discussing them to reduce a little bit of price, like 20-30% of the price. So that's why like all the money will go on infrastructure, building that kind of good market making infrastructure, having very good AWS things, very low latency systems. All these things like needs money. It's not for the manpower that we need. Um, yeah. Uh, when will we start listing for both projects, and when would it be possible to get market makers for both project? Like forget about like market making for bcube, like because as of now like it's not possible because it's not on centralized exchanges. So there is a few ideas like to make it go like that one, which I can discuss like later on in the private session. But like B3X will have it from the day one, or like I think like probably in another 6 months, like we will have our own market making system. So we will be our own market makers with no external support. Uh, Sorry, but I can no longer understand the usefulness of the BCUBE token. Like, no, you will understand that later. Like I will speak about it. What will happen to BCUBE token? Like that, I have already spoken. Okay. Thank you for the transparency and your answers. Anytime. Thanks. Um, exactly. Even AML and KYC are just helping scammers to do fraud and crime, not stopping it at all. Honestly, what I have seen is like people who are clearing KYC and AML, they're all real people. And we are checking with all the external software. Even with Italian regulator, they asked us to purchase a software which was so expensive that we were spending like 1,500 euros on that one. It's called as World Check or something like that one. Because when you are actually passing the KYC, they're even checking your names among all the exchanges to see whether you have defaulted any exchanges. And I was like, what do you mean by defaulting any exchanges? Because how can you default an exchange? You have money, you trade. If you don't have money, you can't trade. That's it. Simple. How can you actually default any exchange? Like it doesn't make sense at all. And moreover, like in our case, definitely it doesn't matter. This completely it's hopeless and stupid. Like now I'm going out of EU, so I will speak whatever the thing I want to say. This AML and KYC for a company like us is absolutely stupid. It's completely nonsense. And all these, regulators are idiots, in my opinion. And why I'm saying that is because all the people who are trading with us, they are trading from a centralized exchange and with Binance or Bybit or someone. You have all completed your KYC there on Binance or Bybit. Why are you doing KYC once again with us then? It doesn't make sense because we are dealing with those exchanges where KYC is present. And KYC is present on Binance, KYC is present on Bybit, Bitget. Every exchange has implemented KYC, even KuCoin implemented KYC. So why should we spend that amount of money and why should we go through all these pains for making, KYC and all these things? It's not helping at all, honestly. It makes absolutely no sense. And it's simply waste of money where and searching for, criminals among the honest people. What is the status on the patent that BCube applied for some time ago? It's still ongoing. They come every now and then, like they ask for some kind of questions and they ask for some kind of like updates on any other research that we are going that we want to tag along with. And quite recently, like we added this SFSS, like also maybe later on I can just give a short demo like on how it's working. Like I don't know if it's placed on the server or not, but like we made something with SFSS. We have included that in B3X. So what happens is like here, like before you had a place where you were backtesting the strategy, and then if you were feeling good, you could deploy that, right? This is what you were doing before on the fund builder, on the AI fund builder side, the video that we shared. But now what you can do is like you build the same fund, and an AI agent will come in between and it will try to see like to the current market condition based on the last 30 days what is the best possible algorithms that you can have. So that will make 10 iterations to make it possible to see like which among these 10 different variations is the best one right now, and everything you can see it on the log. So this one was included also on SFSS and we put it on B3X. So this is what we have quite recently given to them. So that will be included in the patenting thing, because once you have a patent and later on let me say that like you will extend the technology to something else, then it's called as like um, when during that extension of the technology, like if you used any product or if you used any technology and that technology is open sourced already, then it's called as code contamination. So this code contamination should not happen. And that's why like like whenever we are making something new thing, we are just filing and like we are telling them like, okay, this is the update and like take it ahead. But it's going on. But software patents will not come so easily. It takes long time. If you are making a hardware patent, it's very easy to get it. Like 1 year, 2 years, like you can get it. But software's like takes time. Uh, I still can't figure out how can I get B3X tokens and become supporter of this project. We will open the community round in the next few months, like after some time, and then you can buy it. But as of now, like it's not possible to do it because we just made it possible to buy for very close community of BCube, which was done through a SAFT, and it's not done through an online method. So that is finished as of now. Like we don't want like that kind of big allocation to anybody, even if they are ready to pay for us. Like because we received some emails also, some random people from old BQ people saying like, no, I want to give 25K, I want to give 10K, and we said like, no, we have seen like what you guys did before. So we don't want the repeat of B3 BCube with B3X. We want that to be something different, and we want that thing to become a blue chip. So we are avoiding every single thing possible for that, because today it might be like 10K, 25K. Ah, okay, like I need money, let me take it. But tomorrow there will be a huge consequence for that. And we are all going to suffer with that consequence. So the closed community round is finished. It's not going to open. The public round, when it opens for only our community, we will let everybody know. Let's avoid launch pads and focus on serious investors who can bring something on the table. Exactly, exactly. Like I'm happy like everybody is understanding that one, because launch pads are like really very hopeless. How the business model works in the launch pad is like whatever they're raising, 10% they're keeping it for themselves. So in the 250K, they keep 25K for themselves. This is the business model of a launch pad. Plus all those people like They don't even know what we are doing actually. Okay, some new project came on the launch pad. Let's put like $100, $1,000, $2,000 or something. And when is the TG? When is the TG? And like there are a couple of investors like whom I was on the call with. And when I was talking to them, the first thing was like, okay, what you are building, tell me one liner. And I said, and after that one, they said like, okay, that's good, great, 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 wonderful. What's your tokenomics? What's the vesting period? And like whenever a VC second question is about the tokenomics, never trust him. Like he's pure scammer because he's just coming to dump the tokens like later on. That's it. And one of the investors that I spoke, he said like he can make 300K, but he wants 100% unlock on TGE. I said like okay 100% unlock, like why not, like we will give it from treasury also, something more as a bonus, like if that makes you happy. 100% TGE unlock is a very good recipe for a disaster. It's never going to work, and all these kind of people are surrounded by this kind of launch pads. So launch pads, like we don't want to do it. That's why like we have signed agreements with them because they tweeted about us and to get some marketing exposure. Otherwise, like definitely we will not do it. Will you give a short summary at the end about what has been discussed and what are the closet announcements and updates? I think everything has been done and this video is recorded, so it will be live very soon. So then you can check it yourself. Will B3X be listing other tokens like other DEX are doing, or it will be more like PancakeSwap and Uniswap? Listen, as of now, it's like PancakeSwap and Uniswap. We want people to come permissionlessly and add, but it will not be like that forever. Because after 6 months or 8 months, like when we become a very popular things and everybody starts to speak like, look, this is like Uniswap, but for derivatives. When they start to speak like that one, then we will do something different like what Hyperliquid is doing. You have to stake hundreds and thousands of dollars worth of our tokens by buying it in the markets for creating your markets on our platform. So once you create your markets, your token is a collateral. For that one, you need to stake certain amount of our own tokens, or you need to pay us the fees, like a listing fees later on. But until we gain that kind of traction and everything, we need to make it like permissionless listing so that more tokens comes. You see, like meme tokens, they have a lot of money and they have a very big community. So 2, 3 meme tokens projects, it's going to bring a huge community for us. And those people can also create their own funds, like Shiba Inu fund, like on using our fund builder, or like Pepe fund on using our fund builder. Like they can do a lot of things on that one to keep the community engaged, and it's going to be a very super cool product at the end of the day. Um, okay. Um, Okay. What about the community round? Like, look, like this community round is very different from what you are understanding. We will see like who have been like actively engaging on the platform, who are doing it on, I mean, like B3X platform, because we have all those wallet addresses, like who are regularly trading every single day trading, and who are those wallets like which has been very active. And we will see a lot of things, and we will make kind of a gated community allocation. So if we make that one, like even those new community members will also be happy that their efforts and their interest has been rewarded. Otherwise, like, like how else we can do that? Because giving airdrop is something that is not working in 2025 because everybody will farm airdrops and they will just leave after that one. So it will just result in dump and it's not adding any value. That kind of airdrop, we are not going to do it. But we are going to do another type of airdrop, like where every month people can claim up to 200, like $20,000 worth of B3X tokens in airdrop, but subject to some amount of trading and some limits of trading. So if you're doing that kind of like very big trading or something, then we will give this one because we will be generating more revenues than the airdrops that we will be giving in if so many people are trying to compete against each other like a trading competition and all. This is what we have discussed with our B2B protocols also. Like okay, like when you are launching your pool on our platform, like if the traders are trading more on your protocol, like give us some tokens, like we will share it among our users. They say like okay, sure, because that will also be good for them because it will increase their number of token holders and also several other things. And also this weekend, we were discussing several other things with B3X also. Like we can also launch like our own stable coins. Because, like, for example, if you know Athena, I don't know how many people know about Athena. So Athena is having a stable coin called as USDE. And what is a stable coin? So the stable coin comes from delta neutral strategy of Ethereum. So what is delta neutral strategy? So you buy Ethereum spot and you short Ethereum in the futures. So in one way, you are having collateral as Ethereum, which is long. Of course, if you are having it, then it's long, and you have shorted it on the futures. So why you have to do that? Because you will be earning the funding fees. And based on that funding fees, they mint a new stable coin. And that one is USDE. So Athena is nothing but a stable coin which is minted based on the funding fees using delta neutral strategies. So Athena could not do that on any platform. So what they are doing is like they are having Ethereum on one platform on some centralized platform, and they're shorting Ethereum on another platform because there was no platform for them to do it. But B3X is the only platform in the entire world which is solving this problem, because you can have wrap stake ETH or Ethereum as a collateral to short wrap stake ETH. So in this way, like the strategy itself will become delta neutral. And what you get out of it, the funding fees, directly you can mint your own stable coins out of that one. So we can do several things with B3X tokens. We have several ideas, and also like sooner or later, like once we go live on the mainnet, like we will also add BCUBE tokens there to make a derivative products for that one. So there is a lot of things that we will mix, and we will do the things, and we'll bring proper synergies to both of the ecosystems. And in any other case, I already said like we can do even the coin swap like after that one, like in equal value, not 1:1, like not like that, but in equal value in terms of US dollars. We can definitely do lots and lots of things with this one. So that's it, like for this community thing. Just stay here. I'll be back in a second, and for others, see you again.